afternoon. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care. So if you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel and then click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So today's video, a couple of videos ago, I gave y'all some quality places to shop, or if you're looking for a place to shop where the clothing is going to last you for more than one season. But then I realized, and I was like, well, I didn't really give them any tips on how to spot or how to find quality clothing. So I do have 7 tips for you guys that we're going to go over today. I'm not going to get very specific because talking about quality clothing can get very specific and very complicated. Like task, hems, stitches, and all of that. I have 7 tips, very easy, very streamlined. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so before we get started, really quickly, y'all noticed everything. I think it was 2 videos ago when I had those dangly Tory Burch earrings and y'all were congratulating me about being able to wear regular earrings again. Those are clip-ons. I'm just glad I'm not out here on YouTube telling lies and living a fake life, because y'all notice everything. So officially it would be a year for, oh Lord, I forgot. For this ear, it'll be officially a year for my ear being pierced in September. What the lady told me is that I can start wearing bigger studs anywhere from 2 to 3 months. I don't even want to chance it because I want my ear piercing to be in full strength when I start wearing these ridiculous earrings, because I have not been able to wear earrings, I want to say probably since my wedding, which was back in March of 2021. So it'll be officially a year for this in September when I can actually start wearing dangly earrings. And what I will probably do is just start with studs. Very simple. I mean, of course, they're going to be bigger than this, because I just feel like earrings for me, especially a statement earring, they give so much character to an outfit and they just kind of complete me. I don't feel complete if I don't have on just like a nice set of earrings. Even with this outfit that I have on, I feel like with this turban and this top, if I was to just have like a simple dangly earring, I think it would just offset the look. But that was a tangent, but let's go ahead and get started. So the very first tip, which you're always going to hear someone say, is going to be fabrics. Make sure that when you are looking for quality clothing or when you are looking for a staple in your closet, make sure you are paying attention to fabrics. Natural fabrics. You have wool, you have cashmere, you have silk, you have cotton. Cotton is going to be one of the best things that you can buy, okay? When we start getting into our warmer months like summer and spring, you're going to start seeing a lot of linen, okay? Now, without getting very specific into each one, I will give you an example. Cotton. Not all cotton is created equal. When you are looking for quality cotton, I want you to look for Pima cotton, and I also want you to feel it. I will give you the best example that I can give you, or the most classic example is going to be a collared shirt, more specifically a white button down. When you're looking at it, if you're in the store, I want you to look at it. I want you to hold it up to the light. I want you to kind of feel the fabric. If it feels kind of flimsy, that's not Pima cotton. Pima cotton is very soft, but it's also kind of thick, and it's going to stand the test of time, okay? So when you're thinking about your quality clothing, I want you to think about natural fabrics. Now, you do have your synthetics and you do have your blends. For example, a lot of the times now companies will start doing like a linen blend. They'll start doing like a wool blend. Everything that you buy is not going to be 100% cotton. Everything that you buy is not going to be 100% wool, and it's for sure not going to be 100% cashmere, okay? Yes, so like I was saying, stay away from your synthetic fabrics. When you start getting upwards of like 45% to 50% of like acrylic and polyester is where you're going to start running into pilling and problems like that. It's not going to last you as long as if you were to have something, let's say about 80% cotton and maybe like 20% lycra, spandex, or polyester, okay? Make sure that you are paying attention to your fabrics synthetically. Make sure that you are paying attention to your fabrics and that they are natural, okay? Okay, number 2, which is kind of like a debate, and I will give you just like a little story really quickly. Pay attention to what the buttons and the zippers are made out of, okay? How the buttons have been placed or what they're made out of can they're tall tale signs of whether or not a piece is quality, okay? I don't remember, and I don't remember who the YouTuber was, and this was years ago when I hadn't even, Instagram was not out, Snapchat was not out, Twitter, this was years ago. YouTube was like really the pioneer for all of this. And I cannot remember, it was a YouTuber, and I think she had bought like a luxury piece. I think it was like a Chanel bag or something. And she was doing an unboxing, and it was a real unboxing because she wanted her viewers to see her natural reaction. She pulled out the piece and it had a YKK zipper on it. She was like so perturbed because she was trying to figure out why this luxury piece had a YKK zipper. And I just found it really funny because it was a YKK zipper in a luxury piece. And for those of you who don't know, you're like, okay, it's just a zipper. In the world of quality, in the world of fashion, in the world of luxury, if you buy a piece, whether it be a bag, a coat, a jacket, if it has a YKK zipper, that supposedly means that the designer house, or whoever made it was very chintzy when it came to the zipper. A YKK zipper is probably one of the cheapest zippers that you can buy, okay? The same thing with your buttons and your embellishments. Most of the time I will give the example of a collared button-down shirt. So typically when you walk into a store, when you see it online, it's going to have like that pearlescent or like those white buttons. Depending on where you get it from, the buttons might even be covered, which would also give you an example of a quality shirt that's been made. But pay attention to all of the embellishments, okay? Number 3 is actually going to be extra buttons. You will find that when you start getting up in quality, it's going to come with like extra yarn and extra buttons. And I actually have an example for you. Y'all have seen this dress 1,000 times. I put it in one of what I would wear if I was leaving the house. This is an Australian brand if you are new to my channel. This is a company by the name of Leo and Lynn. It is an Australian brand. This dress was originally $7.99. I got her on sale for like $4. But the reason why I'm bringing this up to you is because you see these large buttons right here, and I will get closer. You have these large buttons right here that actually have detailing right here. And then you have smaller buttons where your wrist is. And what I mean by extra buttons is it came like this. And there are 2 buttons in here. So they actually have an extra button just in case something happens for these big buttons right here. And this button also has the very same embellishments that it does, so it will fit right in. And then it also came with the smaller button that comes right here. And that's usually a sign that you have invested or that you have bought a quality piece. You will notice that on blouses, it's going to be on the inseam, like right where your stomach is. The actual extra buttons are actually going to be tacked on to the inner tag, okay? So pay attention to that. Extra buttons, extra yarn, extra embellishments, okay? Number 4 is going to be thickness, and this is relative, and I will explain what I mean. So a couple of years ago, I would probably say maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I noticed like J. Crew, TJ Maxx, Target, Banana Republic, they were introducing tops and sweaters, what are known as tissue tops and tissue turtlenecks. And basically it's just this really breathable, thin material, okay? And that's why I'm saying thickness is relative. If you know that you are going in with the intent of buying a tissue top, or that's what it is named on the website, tissue top, you know that it's not going to be a very thick material. But let's just say we're talking about a regular blouse or we're talking about a regular shirt. A lot of people will say, hold it up to the light, and if you can see through it, you need to put it back. Thickness, it's very relative. And that's why I was bringing up earlier the Pima cottons and the very quality cottons that you will find. When it comes to like stretch, if you stretch and you put it up and you can see it at the light, it's coming through. So most people would say that is not a quality shirt. So just make sure that when you're looking at quality pieces, you're thinking of thickness. And the exact same thing will go for sweaters. Cashmere, polyester. Remember, start talking about blends. This day and age, you're going to be hard to find to price a cashmere, 100% cashmere or 100 silk. You'll be able to find it, but you're going to pay for it. That's why a lot of companies have started doing blends. But remember, I said earlier when we were talking about the natural materials, make sure that it's less than about 45 to 50%, and that blouse or that sweater should last you a very long time. In my video with the quality basics, I was talking about Pixie Market. I have on this gorgeous top from Pixie Market right here. I will link it down below. They also have it in white. Thick, 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 thick. Snatches you in, but this is very thick, very comfortable, very stretchy. Now, this is probably, I would say, an acrylic or a polyester blend, but because of the thickness, it gives it kind of like a luxe look, okay? And let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out here as well. Your closet does not need to be filled with $500 tops, $800 dresses for it to be quality. We all love trends. We all love to dip our toe into trends. I'm just giving you a baseline or a guideline for when you are looking for quality clothing, what to look for, okay? Number 5, is the garment lined? And this is going to be more so for your pants, your skirts, and your jackets, okay? Is it lined? When you open up the jacket, is there a lining, or can you see all of the stitching that has been going on? Lining is typically a telltale sign that something has been made with quality, okay? Now, you do have, companies or brands that do linings, but they are just so flimsy. And as a matter of fact, let me give you an example. J. Crew, their coats are pretty quality. You're going to pay upwards of anywhere from $300 to $600. If they do a collaboration, it might be a little bit more. But what I mean by this is lining. This blue thing right here is considered lining. And then what also will let you know that this is quality, it has the lining, it has the quilting, but then there is also a ribbon or another lining or another line on top of that. So you cannot see the stitch, okay? But that's what I'm referring to is the lining, all right? Number 6, and again, like I said, without getting very complicated, let's talk about stitching. The more stitching that you have in a garment per inch lets you know that it's quality. It's going to stand the test of time. And then when you pull on it, I'm not talking about yanking it, but when you pull on it to see the stitching or to see the seam, you know that it's quality because it's a lot of stitches within that inch. The more stitches that you have within that inch of fabric, the more the quality or the better quality it will be because it will stand the test of time and the seam will not easily be able to be ripped apart, okay? The exact same thing will go for the hem of pants and for the hem of skirts, okay? And also make sure that the hem is finished. You do have companies that will do a hem, but it won't be finished, okay? Top stitching, and then make sure the buttons are fastened securely to the garment. If you buy a garment and the button is like flailing or it's like this when you just bought it, chances are that it was mass produced or chances are they were not paying attention to quality. I have bought items before, I won't name from where, I have bought items before that as soon as I touch the garment, the button falls off or the button is actually in the packaging, okay? So just make sure that everything that is on the garment is securely attached, okay? And that also goes for embellishments. The last tip that I want to give you, which is actually one of my pet peeves, and I stopped buying pieces like this, and this is also a telltale sign, although I will say I have seen some luxury fashion houses do this. But it is, let's say for instance, you have a print or you have like a design on the front of the garment. If you turn to the side or if you turn to the back and it's completely blank, that to me, and again, this could just be me, but that to me instantly makes an outfit look cheap. No matter where you bought it from. It could be Versace, it could be Valentino, it could be Chanel. If it's not a continuous look, it looks cheap because it looks like the person didn't take the time to finish the garment and it just looks undone. Especially when you have the design right here and then it literally stops on half of the arm. So when you're standing this way, you can see this part is designed and then this part is not. And then when you turn around, there is no design, okay? To me, that can instantly cheapen a garment that cost you $3,000. Which leads me to my next point, is going to be when the stitching and the seams don't line up as far as the pattern is concerned as well. And that's also another one of my pet peeves. So let's say, for instance, you have like a flower design or you have like, let's make it even simpler. Let's say you have a plaid design and on the front it's going one way. But then again, when you have the stitching or wherever the stitching comes, like if you have darts right here, or if you have like the seam for the back of the shirt and it doesn't line up, like one stitch, like one box of the plaid is right here and then the other one is right here, but it doesn't line up. Again, that means that it's either been massively produced, it was not quality checked, or just simply was not quality made. So just make sure that when you are buying your garments that the actual designs line up, okay? So those are all the tips that I have for you about finding quality clothing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think is also a tip for finding quality clothing. I just want to remind you that here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And then, of course, right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.